We just had a Leo full moon, and Leo opposite Aquarius is an interesting dynamic because the Leo is emotional and the Aquarian is detached, emotionally detached. And why Aquarius tends to be more emotionally detached is to create these big picture systems that, the revolutionary systems that are needed. And so they can't do that with all the emotions and attachments. So if you know your Aquarians to be a little bit emotionally distant, well, that is part of that whole dynamic. And it's air sign, so it's more mental. And then you get into the dynamic, the polarity with Leo. Leo is the heart. Leo is the sun, the kind of the involuting time of the summer when everything has burst forth and done its thing, and now it's going to start to head towards the balance, the equinox of light and day, and move into the fall of the sun in Libra. So Leo is about emotion. There's motion in emotion. So it's like there's something about Leos and mastering their emotions and understanding why they're more emotional. And this is why a lot of actresses are Leos. I am a Leo moon and I dance. That is part of my emotional kind of expression. And if, you are really emotional and, for grief or whatever is happening, if you get caught in these really emotional states as a Leo, you can actually deplete yourself of important minerals that make you feel good. Our minerals are really here to help us feel better in our bodies. And when you start to get cramping, spasms, a lot of eye stuff, like eye strain, that can be part of the depletion of magnesium phosphate, which is the cell salt for Leo. And magnesium phosphate is amazing. It's another amazing cell salt. I use it when I have any kind of spasms, little eye twitches, or that's kind of an indicator of like, oh, I need some of that. And there's like a whole nerve center. The motor nerves are ruled by Leo. And so it helps to relax the motor nerves. And, it works all over the body in a great way. So this is one of my favorite cell salt. I keep saying everyone's my favorite, but there is a great quality to the magnesium phosphate because they're magnanimous, they're ferocious. I always have this joke about Leos and like Leo women that I know that when you get angry and you have this like intense anger, you just want to cut everybody's head off. It's like off with your heading, like a queen, like Sekhmet. Sekhmet, her story is she's sent down to help. People are fighting and there's all this warring going on, but she gets caught up in it and then becomes like bloodthirsty. And they have to like trick her by giving her this pomegranate drink with alcohol it's probably like a fermented drink, and tricking her and thinking it's blood because she gets so bloodthirsty, and then she passes out, and that's how they, get her to like stop killing everybody. So it's just, yeah, it is something to deal with the Leos, the energy of emotions. And it's an interesting polarity between the non-emotions and the emotions between the Aquarius and the Leo. And there's a lot of planets in Aquarius right now, so that's giving an energy, an amplification. But that has happened before, I think a couple years ago, or it could even been this time last year, there was the same kind of thing. And during this time, because it's revolutionary, you're going to hear these rumors of, revolutions, basically. And there is, the outer reality, the political reality. They use these timings of the tropical sky wheel, the zodiacal wheel, to prepare, because most likely in the spring there will be some kind of war, and that happens often. So there's like these rumors and seeding of that energy happening. And there is a big connection to mind control and really getting people to get out in the streets and protest and things like that, which is also a way of harvesting energy. So we have to remember what is really true. We just had some ICE thing where people were close their businesses. Well, it turns out, guess what? They're funded by big corporations, which are these ancient bloodlines. They own the corpse, the big ones, the corpse, which is like a dead reference. And they are, creating a issue and making, there'll be an event that gets promoted on the media, which gets into social media. And I know a lot of people say, I don't watch the news. It's coming through social media. I mean, and it's even more insidious because it's coming through people and actors and things like that. So we have to really be aware that there is a system of mind control that is trying to get us to fight each other, and to, one looking more virtuous than the other based on actions that are being promoted. So we have to really understand what is behind all this, and the division that is created is not serving us. So, that is a big part of this time of year, and to really purify ourselves of these energies of duality, and recognize, the bigger picture, which is mind control. The mind control and all these projects that were created long ago, and they came from, other countries and came here. It's worldwide too. It's a very much a huge part of being in this reality is understanding the mind, and understanding how outer sources want to control the mind and control people in mass. So be a free thinker, be a critical thinker, and really look beyond what the events are that are happening, and also check in with your body. And a friend of mine sent me this astrology update from this guy. He was like a Londoner astrologer, and he was talking about, this time, you have to do this at this time, this full moon, otherwise, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, do it in your timing and what you think is best. So, astrology can really, and if you watch these astrologers, go back in their feed and look a year ago at this time, what were they saying, and just recognize how that post was giving me anxiety just watching it. And I'm like, why do we have to do any of what you say, because also everybody has a different kind of chart. So I am always telling, I'll give some of my clients up, like, hey, this is active. There's going to be a lot of activity in your sign for my Aquarians, because there's a lot going on. So if you feel energy and you got your sun there or moon there or planets, you're going to feel some sort of amplification of these energies. So be aware, but it's nothing like these astrologers can be describing. And the finality, these are threshold moments, but they are frequencies. They are light frequencies. The angles of light from the moon and the angles of light from the sun are giving us an energy. It's like a harmonizing song. So we have to really just realize the levels of manipulation that are going on, and it's all around us. So um, my favorite time was like right before the full moon. The moon and the sun will be out at the same time, and that is a great time to absorb both the energies because they're actually playing on each other. So that usually happens kind of right before the full moon. It depends on the timing, but I follow the sun and I follow the moon, the energies, and that's kind of where I've been doing an experiment to see if I can be in the flow state through just the sun and the moon. And I am, and it feels really good. So, and I've really had a lot of preoccupation with the outer planets and the inner planets because they are connected to our bodies and our energies. So, but sun and moon really give us a lot of information and in their placements. So, and this is a type of astrology, it's astrotheology, and it really uses the zodiacal wheel to show what energies we're in. It's not necessarily constellations in the sky. And when I began working with astrology, I started to see all these astrologers say, okay, now we're in this sign, but people would be like, but we're not in that constellation is not there. So why are we in that sign? It's actually just a system that moves through, and it's a mathematical system, and it tells us where the sun and the moon are going to be and what energies they're going to be in. And it gives us a lot of information, actually. And there's a whole system of health attached to that. Like Aquarius rules the blood and the ankles. And then Leo rules the heart. So there's like this connection to purifying the blood during this time. That is preparing for the spring, when there'll be a burst of energy. Like I'm having a burst of energy right now. Hot flashes. Yeah, so it is just really important to just tune into sun and moon. They're actually super reliable. They have a very predictable path. And that's actually kind of amazing in these times where everything is kind of grounded and unknown outcomes, politically and all that. And I think following the sun and the moon is a way to really ground yourself in this reality, because it is totally a reliable system. And I'm going to be teaching a course on this actually coming up in the spring. So stay tuned for that. I'll be working on it this week to put it out there. And I'm excited to work with people and their charts and in small groups, and then help to understand the sky wheel that we live underneath and work with the frequencies of this reality, because this is all energetic angles of light in the toroidal field and all the dimensional energies. There's a lot going on here. So it's really grounding. And I've experienced this grounding, and others who have taught this to me, they have experienced it. And that's what got me curious. So stay tuned for that. And happy full moon in Leo.